When it comes to weight loss, the journey is often more about creating healthier habits than chasing quick fixes. Sustainable weight management is built on balance, consistency, and understanding how the body works. One of the biggest misconceptions is that weight loss requires extreme restrictions, but in reality, it's about fueling your body with the right foods, staying active, and being mindful of your lifestyle choices. Whole nutrient-dense meals, regular movement, proper hydration, and good sleep all play essential roles in helping your body function at its best. It's important to understand that progress looks different for everyone. Some people notice changes on the scale quickly, while others see improvements in energy levels, clothing fit, or even mood before the weight visibly changes. Weight loss should never feel like punishment. It's a process of creating a healthier relationship with food, exercise, and yourself. Focusing on gradual improvements, setting realistic goals, and celebrating small wins can help you stay consistent and motivated over time. Another key factor is patience. Sustainable weight loss doesn't happen overnight, and rapid results are rarely long-lasting. Consistency is far more powerful than intensity. Whether it's committing to daily walks, replacing sugary drinks with water, or adding more vegetables to your meals, small steps build long-term results. And remember, setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. The real success comes from learning, adjusting, and moving forward. By making smart, sustainable lifestyle choices and avoiding the common traps that slow progress, you can build a healthy foundation that supports not just weight loss, but overall well-being. Skipping meals is one of the most common mistakes people make when trying to lose weight, and while it might seem like a quick way to cut calories, the truth is that it often backfires. When you go too long without eating, your body begins to slow down its metabolism in an effort to conserve energy, which means you burn fewer calories throughout the day. On top of that, skipping meals can cause blood sugar levels to dip, leading to fatigue, irritability, and intense cravings. This often results in overeating later, especially with unhealthy, high-calorie foods that your body craves for quick energy. Many people notice that when they skip breakfast or lunch, they end up consuming far more at dinner or snacking late into the evening, which can completely undo the calorie deficit they were aiming for in the first place. It's also important to understand the psychological impact of skipping meals. When you deprive yourself for long stretches of time, you're not just battling hunger, you're battling your own willpower. This creates a cycle of restriction followed by binging, which can make you feel guilty, frustrated, and even more discouraged in your weight loss journey. Instead of helping you move forward, this pattern often keeps people stuck in the same place. Your body functions best when it receives consistent fuel, and regular, balanced meals support stable energy levels, better mood, and improved focus throughout the day. Additionally, skipping meals can interfere with your body's ability to preserve lean muscle mass. When the body doesn't receive enough nutrition, it begins to break down muscle tissue for energy. Since muscle burns more calories than fat, losing muscle can slow your metabolism even further, making weight loss harder over time. Eating regular meals with lean protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbohydrates not only supports weight management, but also helps protect your muscle, keeping your metabolism active and efficient. For long-term success, it's far better to focus on portion control and choosing nutrient-dense foods rather than cutting out entire meals. Eating smaller, balanced meals or snacks every few hours helps keep hunger under control and prevents the extreme highs and lows in energy that lead to poor food decisions. It reinforces consistency, which is one of the most important factors in sustainable weight loss. By listening to your body, fueling it properly, and avoiding the temptation to skip meals, you set yourself up for healthier progress that is easier to maintain in the long run. Not getting enough sleep is one of the most overlooked reasons why weight loss progress slows down, even when someone is following a healthy diet and exercising regularly. Sleep plays a vital role in regulating the hormones that control hunger and fullness. When the body doesn't get adequate rest, hormones such as ghrelin, which increases appetite, rise significantly, while leptin, the hormone that signals satiety, decreases. This imbalance leads to stronger cravings, especially for high-calorie, sugary, and processed foods. Many people notice that after a short night of sleep, it becomes much harder to resist snacks, late night eating, or oversized portions, which can easily lead to consuming far more calories than intended. Over time, this lack of rest not only impacts appetite, but also makes it much more challenging to stick to a consistent routine that supports weight loss. In addition to influencing hunger hormones, poor sleep also affects energy levels and motivation. When the body is tired, it craves quick sources of energy, and most often, that means refined carbs, sugary treats, or caffeinated drinks that provide a temporary boost but leave you crashing soon after. This cycle of fatigue and overeating can create a major setback in weight loss efforts. Being tired also makes it harder to stay active. A person who didn't get enough sleep is less likely to work out effectively or might skip exercise altogether because the body feels drained. Even if they do exercise, the performance is often weaker, and the calories burned are lower than they would be if the body was fully rested and energized. Over time, this reduced activity level slows metabolism and prevents consistent fat burning. Sleep also has a direct impact on how the body processes and stores food. Studies show that when people are sleep deprived, their insulin sensitivity decreases, meaning the body struggles to handle sugar and carbohydrates properly. This can cause more fat storage, particularly around the belly area, which is one of the hardest places to lose weight. On top of that, lack of quality sleep increases stress levels in the body, raising the production of cortisol, a stress hormone linked to weight gain and fat retention. This means even if someone is eating well and exercising, poor sleep can override those efforts and keep the scale from moving. Beyond the physical effects, not getting enough sleep also takes a toll on mental health and decision making. Tiredness makes it more difficult to stay disciplined with food choices, more tempting to skip workouts, and easier to fall into the trap of emotional eating. When the mind is exhausted, it becomes harder to focus on long-term goals, and instead, short-term comfort wins. This often shows up as grabbing fast food instead of cooking a balanced meal or choosing to sit on the couch instead of going for a walk. Over time, these small choices build up and slow down progress significantly. For weight loss to be effective and sustainable, quality sleep is just as important as nutrition and exercise. The body needs that time to recover, balance hormones, repair muscles, and restore energy. Creating a consistent sleep routine, limiting screen time before bed, and managing stress can all contribute to better rest and, as a result, better weight management. By prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep each night, the body is far more likely to respond positively to healthy lifestyle choices, making it easier to lose weight and maintain results in the long run. Relying too much on processed, diet foods is a trap that many people fall into when trying to lose weight, and while the packaging often makes these products look like the perfect solution, they can actually slow progress. Items marketed as low-fat, sugar-free, or low-calorie are often heavily processed and filled with additives, artificial sweeteners, and sodium to make up for the lack of flavor when real ingredients are removed. These types of foods might seem appealing at first glance because they promise fewer calories, but they rarely provide the nutrition the body needs to feel satisfied and energized. Instead, they often leave you hungrier, craving more food, and eventually consuming more calories than if you had chosen whole, natural options. Another issue with relying on processed diet foods is that they can create a false sense of security. Many people assume that because something is labeled as diet-friendly, they can eat more of it without consequences. However, these products are often designed in a way that makes overeating easy. For example, a low-calorie snack pack might not feel filling, so you end up eating 2 or 3 packs, which completely cancels out the intended calorie savings. This cycle of overconsumption can make it harder to stay consistent and prevents you from building sustainable eating habits that truly support weight loss. In addition to portion problems, artificial ingredients in processed diet foods can interfere with how the body regulates appetite. Artificial sweeteners, for example, may trick the brain into expecting real sugar, which can increase cravings for sweets later on. This can make it harder to stick to balanced meals and creates a pattern where you're constantly seeking quick, processed options instead of focusing on whole, nutrient-rich foods. Over time, this not only slows weight loss but also impacts overall health by depriving the body of the vitamins, minerals, and fiber it needs to function properly. It's also worth mentioning that diet foods can delay progress by distracting people from learning how to make real, sustainable choices. Weight loss is not just about lowering calories, it's about creating habits that can be maintained long term. Relying on processed foods doesn't teach you how to prepare balanced meals, control portions naturally, or listen to your hunger and fullness signals. Instead, it creates a dependency on packaged items, which often leads to frustration when the results don't last. Once these foods are removed, many people struggle to keep the weight off because they never learned the basics of healthy eating. The better approach is to focus on whole foods that nourish the body while keeping you full and satisfied. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, nuts, and seeds provide the balance of nutrients needed to support weight loss while fueling energy levels. Unlike processed diet foods, these natural options help stabilize blood sugar, curb cravings, and keep metabolism active. By reducing reliance on packaged, diet-friendly products and instead choosing real, wholesome foods, you create a way of eating that not only helps with weight loss but also improves overall health, mood, and long-term success. Overestimating calories burned during exercise is one of the most common mistakes that can slow down weight loss progress, and it often happens without people realizing it. Many individuals assume that a workout session burns far more calories than it actually does, and this can create a false sense of accomplishment that leads to overeating afterward. For example, a 30-minute jog or a moderate gym session might burn a few hundred calories, but people sometimes believe they've burned double or even triple that amount. This miscalculation can cause someone to reward themselves with high-calorie meals or snacks that not only replace what was burned, but also add a surplus, preventing a calorie deficit from forming. Weight loss ultimately comes down to maintaining that deficit consistently, so overestimating exercise can keep the scale stuck despite regular activity. Another factor to consider is that fitness trackers and cardio machines often exaggerate calorie burn estimates. While these tools can be motivating, they're not always accurate. They usually don't account for individual differences such as body composition, fitness level, or workout intensity. A person who is new to exercise might burn fewer calories than the machine suggests, while a trained athlete might burn more. Relying solely on these numbers without understanding how they fit into overall energy balance can make it difficult to achieve sustainable results. This is why many people feel frustrated when they're exercising regularly but not seeing the weight loss they expect. Overestimating calories burned also ties into the psychological side of weight loss. After a tough workout, it's easy to feel like you deserve a treat, which often ends up being higher in calories than what was actually burned. For instance, a slice of pizza or a fancy coffee drink can contain more calories than a full workout session used up. This habit of rewarding exercise with food not only slows progress, but can also create an unhealthy relationship with both eating and working out. Exercise should be viewed as a way to build strength, improve health, and boost energy, not just as a ticket to eat more. It's also important to remember that exercise alone is not enough to drive significant weight loss. While movement is essential for health and supports calorie burn, it's nutrition that has the largest impact on creating a consistent deficit. Someone can easily burn 300 calories in a workout, but then unknowingly eat back 500 or more through snacking. Over time, this imbalance leads to stalled progress or even gradual weight gain. This doesn't mean exercise isn't valuable. It's incredibly important for maintaining muscle mass, boosting metabolism, and improving overall well-being. But the key is to pair it with mindful eating and accurate portion control. To avoid the mistake of overestimating calorie burn, it's helpful to shift focus from calories out to the overall lifestyle. Tracking meals with honesty, paying attention to hunger cues, and celebrating exercise for its long-term benefits rather than just the calorie number can make a big difference. Consistency in both diet and movement is what creates sustainable results. By keeping realistic expectations and avoiding the trap of assuming workouts burn more than they do, You'll create a balanced approach that supports real progress and long-term weight management. An inconsistent routine is one of the biggest obstacles people face when trying to lose weight, and it can undo even the best intentions. Many people start their journey with enthusiasm, following a healthy eating plan and exercising regularly for a few days or weeks. But then they fall off track due to busy schedules, lack of motivation, or unrealistic expectations. This stop and go pattern prevents the body from experiencing the steady progress it needs to adapt and change. Weight loss is not about being perfect every single day. It's about being consistent enough over time to create habits that stick. When the routine keeps shifting, the body never gets the chance to build momentum, and the results become slower and harder to maintain. Another problem with inconsistency is that it confuses both the body and the mind. For example, following a healthy diet for a week and then slipping into old habits for the next can make it harder to establish a stable calorie deficit. Similarly, working out intensely for a few days and then skipping exercise for long stretches keeps the body from building endurance, strength, and metabolism improvements that support weight loss. This on and off cycle can feel discouraging because progress never matches the effort put in. It's not that the person isn't trying, it's that the lack of regularity prevents the efforts from stacking up over time. Inconsistent routines also make it harder to form long-term habits. Weight loss success doesn't come from short bursts of extreme effort, but from small, repeatable actions done consistently. Something as simple as drinking enough water daily, choosing balanced meals most of the time, or taking regular walks adds up when repeated week after week. But if these habits are only followed sporadically, they don't have the power to create lasting results. Without consistency, it's also easy to lose motivation because the rewards like feeling better, noticing changes in clothing fit, or seeing progress on the scale don't appear as quickly as expected. It's important to remember that consistency doesn't mean perfection. Everyone has off days, but the key is to keep going rather than letting a slip turn into a full stop. The people who achieve long-term weight loss are not the ones who never make mistakes. They are the ones who return to their routines even after setbacks. Building a consistent lifestyle means finding balance, planning meals, setting a regular sleep schedule, committing to manageable workouts, and making adjustments when life gets busy. Instead of focusing on extreme diets or unrealistic exercise plans that are hard to stick with, creating routines that feel natural and sustainable makes it much easier to stay consistent over time. By maintaining a steady routine, the body and mind learn to adapt to healthier patterns. Energy levels improve, cravings become easier to manage, and weight loss becomes more predictable. Small daily choices compound into bigger results, proving that success doesn't come from what you do once in a while, but from what you repeat most of the time. When consistency is prioritized, weight loss stops being a temporary challenge and becomes a lasting lifestyle change. In conclusion, successful weight loss is not about shortcuts, crash diets, or quick fixes. It's about building sustainable habits that you can maintain for life. By focusing on nourishing your body with whole foods, staying active in ways that you enjoy, prioritizing quality sleep, and keeping a consistent routine, you give yourself the best chance at long-term success. Mistakes like skipping meals, relying too much on processed diet foods, overestimating calories burned, or falling into inconsistency can slow down your progress, but the good news is that with awareness, they can be corrected. Remember, weight loss is not a race. It's a personal journey, and the goal should always be to feel healthier, stronger, and more confident, not just to chase a number on the scale. Small, steady improvements add up over time, and even setbacks are opportunities to learn and grow. The key is patience, balance, and consistency. When you treat your body with care and commit to a healthier lifestyle, the results will follow in a way that is both effective and lasting.